Let's start off, though, with Penn Entertainment. We kind of got an inkling of this as time has gone on, and their relationship in terms of buying the remaining shares of Barstool. Where does that stand?
Yeah, so Penn Entertainment, which just changed its name to Penn Entertainment recently, earlier this month at its earnings call, or just prior to its earnings call from Penn National Gaming, kind of hinting like, hey, we're going to do something different here. You know, they acquired the first 36% of Barstool Sports in 2020 for, $136 million, I think. And they've had the option, or we're going to have the option, to purchase the rest of it at some point. And they submitted notice that they do intend to do that, they'll first bump their shares up to 50%, and then by February close out the rest. And I think it's about just under $400 million. So all told, they're spending about $550 million for Barstool, which is a really interesting valuation. I think just recently we've been talking about Underdog Fantasy, and they're valued at about $500 million. And for me, I look at that, and it's an interesting case. I mean, what is Barstool worth in terms of a media brand, let alone the sports betting side of it? So I think that's something you have to wonder about is, what are their podcasts worth that have a huge sway of influence for certain demographics of America? So that's kind of interesting. And then, yeah, of course, that's the American side of their entertainment brand. Earlier this year, they pulled the Score bet out of the U.S. To focus on Canada with that, and have Barstool focus on the U.S. sportsbook side of things. Kind of the dual focus, but similar approaches, trying to kind of limit the marketing spend that we're seeing from a lot of the bigger operators like FanDuel and DraftKings, and trying to use the organic media connection with customers to draw in bettors. And, they're having some form of success with that. Penn, during their earnings report, said they do kind of expect some profitability from their sports betting later this year. So we'll see if that's the case when they report their earnings later this year. But, how much more could they gain there? Probably quite, maybe some more. Because, I asked my analyst, I said, hey, what do we have for market share in the markets that the jurisdictions that report by brand? And they're only at about 6%. So they've got some room to grow there, and maybe that comes with full ownership of Barstool or not. And then another interesting question is what happens to Dave Portnoy at this point? Was this a move to kind of separate themselves from him as he's had some, allegations come out? Who knows? He very well could stick with the brand, and because he is very much part of that brand and a big driver of why people love it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to him in the future as well.
Yeah, and naturally, again, podcast advertising is just huge for sports wagering.
Right.
And you listening to a podcast, you get a promo code of some kind, and you have the most listeners on your podcast. It does make sense for sure.